So a quick note on the previous panel is that the solid fill looks pretty good when we're in the sketch, but it reverts back to gray, much like the line styles did in the first panel. So I don't know that that is a great advantage, and I'm not sure what happened with these two boundaries. If there was an overlap, I don't see any gaps. I guess I could go in and try and extrude and see if this is a closed boundary or if there's something going on with it. So if we wanted to get rid of the fill, then you can just highlight and pick and delete. And we're pretty much going to have to go through all of those and delete and delete. Alright, so if I leave the squares, that helps a little bit and is actually in the gray. And when I hide those, whoop, that put me back in the sketch. Let's try that again, hide, then it will all go away. So the hexes are going to be about the same. We have to do the count. 1, 2. Oh, actually, they're going to be going through the center as well. So, okay, that would be that one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think there's 9. I missed one. So we're going to try 9. And then it's showing at the center. So front plane, sketch. Let's go ahead and generate the panel. And then I'm going to hide the grid on this one. We'll focus. Alright, so I don't know where that center is going to be, and I'm not going to worry too much about the angle. So we'll set the 60 degrees. And then for my linear sketch pattern, there'll be a total of 9 and some distance, and we'll accept. Right, and then the in geometry is going to be part of the build, so let's go ahead and put in the next. Place the 60. And I'll bring those back, bring that back. And this one we're going to flip and make a total of 9. Okay, so probably should have done this first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's my middle, and I'll put a point right at the center, and that's going to help me select the midpoint, grab the point, make that vertical, select the midpoint, grab the midpoint, make that horizontal, and then let's see if we can stretch these out again a little bit and start to see our pattern. Alright, so the fifth, if I didn't just infer a relation, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that one should be at the midpoint. Alright, so I'm losing some out here. So let's go with a total of 11. And if I change the instance count, well, that changed my point. And then the instance count would go to 11. Alright, and that one's not tied to the bottom of the panel anymore, so coincident. Alright, so let's try and find the fifth. of each of these, or the what would be, what, 6 now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, select midpoint, and then going the other way, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we'll set those midpoint to midpoint. Alright, stretch them out a little bit. Alright, so maybe I have more than I need, but that will get us started. Alright, and then one line for the horizontal. And this is going to be a linear sketch pattern in Y, 9 instances, 1 instance in X. I think that will look pretty good. Alright, so we need to identify the center pattern. And where these are going to intersect. Alright, so at the top, I think we're going to need, well, let's just go ahead and place a point. I use that technique to identify the center but not tie it to my geometry just yet. And it shouldn't matter which leg I tie it to. Alright, so I'm going to see that that is going to be my geometry. So let's go ahead and pick another one at the intersection. Place that point. Those are going to be horizontal. So I don't want to do midpoint, but I think if I do coincident, that should be okay. And that establishes the centers. And still kind of looking through here that that's going to have to intersect at some point. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and the 5th should go through that point. Alright, now if we bring these back to the 12.5, and no, I'm in millimeters, grams, and seconds. Let's try 12.5 instead of 125. That looks pretty good. And then we'll need to put this one on a location. Maybe we can find the intersection of those two. Nope, didn't want to do that. So maybe I'll just go with one more point and go coincident. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and accept that because I have a feeling I'm going to end up with the same trimming type issues. I got one more. One floating up here, so either I couldn't count or I missed the count. And that one will come from there. Alright, so let's try that coincident. Now I have one above, one below. That looks centered. Go ahead and tie that together, coincident. Alright. Alright, so rather than messing with that sketch, I'm going to open up a new sketch. The front plane. We'll highlight sketch 15 so that everything comes in. And then I can go back and hide sketch 15 as we start to go through the trim process. So let's try the power trim on the outside again. Okay, so we had a few go to underdefined. Stay in the power trim. I'm going to start at the middle, and then that one goes that way. That one will go that way. We're getting a lot of underdefined still, but I haven't lost my original geometry if it comes back to it. And I was kind of expecting that to do a little better job. Alright, so I started in on the wrong pattern there. Oh, I got a couple of wrong patterns. I was just having way too much fun. So let's try again, make sure I'm staying in sequence here. And this is going to be the challenge of the patterns. Now, if this was going to end up being a solid, I would probably draw the one and then find the intersections and make this a sketch-driven pattern for the solid bodies. Okay, so nope, need that one back, and we need to go to keep track of all of these, and except for these guys, and go to trim to closest. We'll get rid of that. Make sure the angles are going the right way, and we're losing the ones in between. Okay, and the reverse. Alright, so far, as everything's kind of coming back to the, let's get out of that. Turn to closest. Actually, all of those will come out of the center. Okay, that looks better. Alright, and then just a reminder that I'm doing the zoom with the center scroll wheel on the mouse, just by zooming out a little bit, changing the position of the arrow, and locating. Alright, so it doesn't look terrible. If I show, we might be able to get a few of these. We'll go back collinear, collinear, and with a few of those back in with the relation, and get the sketch to go fully defined, have my base sketch, and have my pattern.